Welcome to Chit Chat, the encouraging one another podcast, where it's always about sharing uplifting, encouraging stories. I'm your host, Jody Sheffield, and where we have real conversations with people from all around the world, sharing their stories, what they've been through, what they've gone through. My mission for this podcast is to uplift and inspire and to remind people that their stories matter. Everyone has a story, and in a world filled with noise and negativity, this place is for honesty and to share hope and human connection with real stories. We shine a light on good and celebrate resilience and encourage one another to keep going. This world needs more encouragement, more kindness, more real stories that remind people that they are not alone. So, if you have a story you'd love to share, something you've been through and gone through, I'd love to have you on. Reach out to me and let's get you on Chit Chat. I hope in this episode and every episode you get something out of it. I just want to encourage somebody out there. We have great people sharing their stories and great music as well. You're watching Chit Chat, the encouraging one another podcast.
Sure as the sun will find the sky, there will be times we wonder why. One must stay and one must go, but either way I hope you know. You made my world a better place, put a timeless smile upon my face. We may cry a tear or two, but forever heaven knows it's true. I will remember you. This life we live flies by so fast. You never know how long it lasts. But when you give a love so strong, it will live on and on. You made my world a better place, put a timeless smile upon my face. We may cry a tear or two, but forever heaven knows it's true. I will remember you. So close your eyes and feel my presence. I will see you Let's live our lives while we have time, with hopeful hearts and open minds. And I will try before I leave to touch someone like you touched me. You made my world a better place, put a timeless smile upon my face. We may cry a tear or two, but forever heaven knows it's true. I will remember
Hello, friends, and welcome back to Chit Chat, the encouraging one another podcast. So glad you're here. Grateful you're taking time out to watch the show or listen to the show. I'm thankful each and every person who joins in. That very first song that opened the show was called "I Will Remember You" by singer-songwriter Ariel France. There's something special about her voice, something pure, hopeful, and full of promise. It's amazing to see how God's already working His gifts of music through her at the young age of 15. It's incredible, and she is definitely going places. If you'd like more about her journey and her music, check out her website, arielfransmusic.com. We got a wonderful show lined up for you today. I'll be talking to singer-songwriter Robert Ross and getting his story, and be playing one of his songs as well. He'll be sharing his journey, what he's been through, gone to, the places he's been to, from Australia to Canada to Nashville. And later on the show, we'll be playing a song by Lori Lace called "I Ain't Crying Over You." And I'll be sharing a little bit prior to that song. And I believe this song will reach deep, reminding us that even in the hardest seasons, God is near. He is faithful. But before we do all that and dive into the show full throttle, we're going to take a quick break and share with you our sponsors. And their support allows us to keep spreading encouragement, hope, and the good news, just positivity and inspiring people. So if you're in the Kitsap County area, I invite you to drop by to support these businesses. They help get the website going and get this podcast out. So we'll take a quick break. Enjoy the sponsors. Think you're smart? Perfect. Time to prove it. Head over to Kitsap Great Escape and put those expert escape skills to the test. Grab your friends, your family, maybe that coworker who claims they can escape anything. Let's see how confident they are when the clock is ticking. Because once that timer starts, you'll be yelling random numbers and blaming each other for the wrong guesses and arguing about which lock goes to which key and somehow bonding harder than ever. That's team building at its finest. Stuck? No shame. The game masters are there to guide you when your brilliant strategy suddenly disappears. Make it out in time, you might make it on the leaderboard with your team's name on the headlights. So think of something legendary. Ready to book? Call them at 360-633-7512 or head over to kidsupgreatescape.com and book your room today. You'll find them at 9481 Silverdale Way in Silverdale, Washington. They have great rooms to conquer, 3 of them actually: Submergency, Mystical Manor, and for those who can unleash your inner detective, Kidnap County. And there's another escape room under construction, so be sure to follow their Facebook page so you'll know when it opens. Before you leave, check out their merchandise to help you remember that time you were locked in a room for an hour. Coins, pens, apparels, maybe to help you just tolerate you're with for an hour. That's the Kidnap Great Escape in Silverdale. The only question is, are you getting out? Are you getting hungry? Head on down to Tequiza and Tequiza Street in Silverdale, where they have 6 kinds of tacos waiting for you. Perhaps get your order to go and take it home. Maybe buy lunch for someone. And come on down and try our great tasting flavors: chimichangas, grilled jalapenos, and much, much more. And buy a gift card for that special someone. Get a platter for the whole family and have some great tasting authentic Mexican food and street fries as well. That's Tequiza and Tequiza Street in Silverdale. Great tasting, authentic Mexican food made fresh. Craving something sweet, fresh, and downright unforgettable? Swing by Lone Star Donuts, where every donut is made hot, handcrafted, and packed with Texas-sized flavor from over 50 flavors. From classic glaze to bold new creations, there's perfect bite waiting for you at Lone Star Donuts. Had a long day? Maybe even a longer week? Come on down to Wine About It, located inside Town Square Mall in Port Orchard, Washington. It's a place where the wine is good and the vibes are cozy, and no one judges you for saying, "I'll take that one in pink." Whether you need a break to get away, celebrating a special night, just hanging out with the wife, like I have. Wine About It is a place to be. They offer great wines and charcuterie boards. They're located at 1700 Mile Drive in Port Orchard. They have a Facebook page too. Please go follow it. They have a lot of upcoming events, from trivia night to paint and sip nights. So be sure you follow so you don't miss out. Give them a call at 360-443-2473. Barbara's awesome. She loves to chat with you. Wine About It, because therapy is expensive and wine is delicious. Oh, again, welcome back to Chit Chat, the encouraging one another. Gotta have the coffee and ready to get the ball rolling. Again, if this is your first time, second time, or maybe you've caught all my episodes, who knows? I am so glad you're here. All about sharing encouragement and positivity and always having fun, reaching out to people from all walks of life. And so thank you for being here today. I am thrilled to have on country music powerhouse, singer-songwriter Robert Ross with me today. His music has touched people from all over the world, and his heartfelt storytelling to different tracks. And recently, he had one of his songs get put on this hit show Tulsa Kings, what Sylvester Stallone stars in, and we'll share about that. And so that's pretty awesome. And this podcast can be heard anywhere, which is awesome. If you're driving, stuck in traffic, running the kids to errands, to and from sports, maybe you're home cleaning, you can ask Alexa to play the Chit and Chat Encouraging One Another podcast. So that was really, really cool. So let's get in the show. Let's welcome in Robert Ross to the podcast.
Welcome to the show, Chit and Chat, the Encouraging One Another podcast. Mr. Robert Ross, how you doing, sir?
Good, Jody. How are you? Thanks for having me on the show.
Doing well. I love having some technical difficulties. It's always fun.
Technology speeds up our life, doesn't it?
True. Let's start from the top. I went through kind of your bio a little bit. Let's start from the beginning. Where you were born and raised, and what your childhood was like when you're growing up.
Yeah, I grew up in a very small town on the east coast of Canada, in New Brunswick. The area is called the Miramichi, and the town I grew up in is Berryville in New Jersey, two small communities, and population is probably about 90 people when I was growing up there, so pretty small. And it was good. It was country living. It was some hard times, but good times too.
Can you tell us a little bit about what influenced you in your music, maybe in your younger years, or when did music really become part of your life? And you're like, I like this. This is, music is the kind of way I want to go.
Yeah, music's always been there for me. It's from a young age. Music is always playing in the house. Always had the local country station blaring away in the house. If people were awake, the radio was on, and my mom, she was always singing around the house too, and beautiful voice. Loved her voice. She never sang professionally or anything. It was only in the house, never outside the house. And so yeah, right from the very beginning, it's always been there. But I never jumped into it as a career until later in life. I was always a shy young fella. So getting in front of people and doing that, and then growing up poor, it's one of those things too, is that you don't have that confidence if you grow up in that kind of situation.
Right. You have any musical influence besides your mom, or it kind of helped in that dream of being a musician?
Yeah, absolutely. All the old greats, what we call the old greats now, love them right from the beginning, like Johnny Cash and Merle Haggard, Charlie Pride, Chris Christopherson, like all those guys were amazing, amazingly talented people. And then, going way back before them too, like Hank Williams, Ernest Tubb, and then up into the 80s and 90s, George Strait, Alan Jackson, Sawyer Brown, big fans of them. And then on the east coast of Canada, of course, there's a lot of great talent that comes out of there. Stompin' Tom, I don't know if you ever heard of him, but he's a Canadian icon, and absolutely loved him.
My dad was a big fan of the Highwaymen. A big fan. He loved their music, and those good songs of that era for sure.
Yeah.
I was in the Navy. I saw you were in the land down under in Australia. How did you get to Australia from Canada?
Airplane.
Okay, that's important. Boats a long
No,
way.
I immigrated there in 2009.
Okay,
And yeah, it was a wonderful transition, and of course it's a Commonwealth country, so it makes it a little easier that way. And get away from the snow. That was the main reason for getting down there.
mm. Yeah, I was down there around 1992. I was in Fremantle. I was in the Navy. We
Oh
sat
yeah.
by there for a few days on a 6-month Westpac. Great people, nice, awesome food down there. Can you tell us some of the experience that shaped you as a songwriter? Did you kind of learn as you went, or would you already know instruments, or just kind of how that transition going of just constant hours in the studio and just writing songs? How'd that go for you?
Yeah, it started out, like I said, I was shy, so I never ever sang in public. I always, when it was behind closed doors, if I was going to do any singing. And then when I got into my 20s, started getting a little more adventurous, I guess, and then starting to come out in front of people and sing in front of people. And the Army helped a great deal in building confidence. So I owe a lot of credit to the military for that. It teaches you discipline. It teaches you respect, and gives you a lot of self-confidence. So
You were in the Canadian Army, right?
that gave me the confidence to get out in front of people.
And
But we're back again. Yeah, I was in the Canadian Army. Spent 11 and a half years in the Canadian Army, and traveled coast to coast in Canada. Stationed overseas for 3.5 years, and yeah, I loved it. It was good times, bad times. Good outweighed the bad.
yeah, I was in the Navy, and born in Arkansas, moved to Washington State. Been here ever since. I was stationed here in Washington State. I've been here ever since. So I did a lot of traveling in the Navy. Was there a defining moment that you realize that you want to make music more than a hobby, more as a career? And when was that?
I've always thought about it. That idea was always there in my head, but as with most musicians, life gets in the way. Money or lack thereof gets in the way, so you have to go back and get a real job. And it was right before COVID. It was about 9 months before COVID. I decided that okay, this is it. Jump in with both feet and make or break. So started doing music full time at that point. Pardon me. And then, of course, COVID hit and shut everything down. And it was like, oh, great timing. So yeah, things trickled along during COVID, and then in 23 decided to move to Nashville. So yeah, the rest is history here now in Nashville, and loving it and going gangbusters.
Nice. During your music journey, someone come alongside you and kind of encourage you and inspire you? Maybe you kind of got the highs and lows of musicians. Sometimes you're doing great. Sometimes like nothing's working for me. Did someone come alongside you and say, "Hey, you got this. Keep pushing forward," and kind of encouraged you?
Yeah, there's been a lot of people throughout my whole life that I've been able to fall back upon, and a lot of people that encouraged me. And in 2023, my beautiful other half, Sue, she's the main reason why I'm here in Nashville at the moment. And she said, haven't you always wanted to go to Nashville? I said, yeah. She said, well, what are you waiting for? Let's do it. And we jumped in with both feet. And I all credit to her and God that have put me on this journey here in Nashville. So she's a big inspiration to me. She's my rock, and love her dearly, and couldn't do this without her.
That's awesome. Yeah, God's funny sometimes. He kind of has paths for us, so we don't have our eyes completely open for, and we come across those paths, and God's like puts us kind of true north to how He wants us to go, and just gotta listen.
Absolutely. And I give thanks and praise every day for this great journey that I'm on, for the talent that He's given me, and it's I'm very respectful in that manner, that I realize that it's him that's given it to me,
Mhm.
and that I trust in his path. So that's what I've been doing for these past few years, and saying, I put it in your hands, God, and I'm here. I'm listening. I'm deaf at some, at the best of times, but I'm listening, and I'm trying to stay on the path that you set for me. So yeah,
And
definitely.
having that strong foundation really keeps you like you centered. Otherwise
Absolutely.
you're kind of going 18 different directions.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. And you need to have that. And it's not just blind faith, it's a true faith
Mhm.
that I'm following a path that's been laid out for me. I trust fully in what that path is. And even though I don't understand it sometimes and why things are happening, but God has put so many great people in my path. He's brought so many great people into my life, including my lovely other half, Sue. Her and my manager, Michael, wonderful human being, and the guy who produced my current album, Mr. Gilgrand, uh, up to a gentleman who just did this last project. I just recorded another 10 songs with another gentleman, Ben Click, incredibly talented human being, and guitar player that I'm working with, Jesse Tucker. There's just so many. I can go on to name. I apologize, I'm not mentioning everybody, but there's so many people that I have to give thanks to God for bringing into my life, that are just there, because there's so many people in this industry that are here to take advantage,
Mhm.
and they don't care about what's happening with you or what's going to happen with you. It's just what can you give that person at that particular time,
Yep.
and
Yep.
we call them sharks, and we've had a couple of bites, some couple of bigger than others, but for the most part, God has put some very amazing human beings in my life.
I love that verse in the Bible, iron sharpens iron. When you're around people who are building each other up, who want you, just sharpen you. I love the show Forged in the Fire. And a little piece of metal is this like crap piece of metal. And they make a Damascus knife out of it, or a sword or whatever. That's how
Yeah,
when you get around some good people, you can really sharpen each other up.
absolutely, absolutely, and that's the whole thing about it is, there's a saying in Nashville that you have to find your tribe, and that tribe, and then again another, to start throwing out cliches, rising tides rise all ships.
Mm.
So, and that's the way it is. I've found a great group of people, and hopefully we're going to get to the highest tide.
I believe country music is all about storytelling.
Mhm.
I grew up in this. I'm born in the 70s, 1970, 80s, and 90s. It was all about storytelling. How do you balance honoring that tradition and making your sound uniquely yours in your songs?
It's not something I really try. It's just like I said, it's the gift from God, and that's what He's given me. And I can sing a rock and roll song, and it's going to come out country. It doesn't matter what it is. It's as country as it gets, and it's funny that how it works, and I don't understand the whole process really. It's songwriting is it's an amazing beast. It's how it happens, with a thought popping in your head, and then all of a sudden, other things start falling into place. And I've mentioned this quite a few times before, but back a few years ago, when you're writing, or when you used to be writing, it was always a pen and paper. And a thought come out, you put it down on paper, and then another thought, and then you write that down, and then you get another thought that should have fit in between those two things. So you write it up the side of the paper, and then there's little bits and pieces all over the place. And you're looking at this paper, and it's looked like you took a bottle of ink and threw it on there, and it just blots and everything, And then you have to take that jigsaw puzzle and then put it all together, and 8 pages later, you have a full song. And it was really incredible to watch that process. But now do everything on a computer, so you type it in, you just delete and put something else in, or you move
Mhm.
it down, and then that gets deleted later. So you lose all that history of how the song was created. At the end, you go through the whole process, and then you have a great song at the end, or you hope to have a great song at the end.
Yeah.
And then but you lose like the pieces of paper you had with all the little notes and all that stuff. You lose all that now, so that it's a piece of the song history that's lost, which is unfortunate.
Last week I had Michael Card on my podcast, a Christian artist from Tennessee, and he was been in the music industry for 30 years. So back in the days, that was exactly that, writing that those notes in your where it worked, where it didn't work, and just kind of edit that. Technology has just totally changed that.
That's right. Yeah. And whether it's for the better or for the worse, it's very convenient. So I guess that's better. But where it falls into the worst category is that you lose that history. You don't have all those. I suppose you could probably keep all the little bits and pieces and have a separate file. That's actually a good idea. That just popped me in. I'll start doing that from now on. Not that I don't have enough files on my computer as it is now.
Of course.
Let's put another couple of dozen there.
Do you remember the first song you wrote, and what was it, and when was it?
The first song I wrote would have been back in would have been 1992 or 3.
Okay.
And I'd never written before. I'd never attempted writing. And I had this thought popped in my head one day. And back many years ago, it was June 19th and 20th of 1959. I wasn't born then, but I've heard a lot of stories about it. There was this devastating storm that blew up the eastern seaboard, and it was supposed to bypass us, but it hit dead center on the Miramichi area, and there was 35 fishermen that drowned that day. And so anyway, that story popped in my head, and within 15 minutes, I had sat down and I wrote that song out. I had the song and I had the melody, and it was like maybe there's something to this, maybe I can do this, and that's how the songwriting developed.
Now, I've asked a lot of musicians over the years, how do they come up with songs? Sometimes it's a lyric, it's a beat, it's a word. Is that, and everyone's answer is a little different. How do you, when you think of a song or working on a song, what kind of transposes that to, I'm gonna go with this song, and how do you kind of piece it together to make it your song?
Yeah, my most common answer for how do I write a song is I don't know. That's in God. That's in God's hands, honestly and truly. And I heard a saying many years ago, and I can't remember who it was. It could have been Bob Dylan or something like that in an interview I listened to, and he said that all the songs that are written and that have ever been written and ever will be written are out there already. They're just up there in that big radio in the sky. And if you happen to tune that dial in to that channel at that time, you'll get that song.
That's cool.
and I firmly believe that, because people say, I don't know, I've never thought about, I don't really think about it. And it's just the thought comes to me, the melody comes to me at the same time. And then the words start flowing and boom, all of a sudden it's a song. In the last 3 years, I've had to start thinking about it a bit more. I've had to change my thought pattern a little bit, and I still truly believe that the songs, are coming from that radio station in the sky. But I've been doing more co-writing lately, and of course, with co-writing, you never really know what you're going to write about it until the moment. And you get into a room with another person or 2 other people or 3 other people, and then it's magical how that happens too, that someone will come up with an idea. It could be a word, it could be a phrase, it could be whatever. And then that person will say that, the other person will jump on it and say, oh, that reminds me, this. And then boom, 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 starts feeding back and forth. And it's incredible to be in that situation, to feel that happening. It's just absolutely amazing.
It'd be cool to be a fly on the wall in areas like that when people are collaborating, to see the magic, come to life, just piece, boom, we have a song. It'd be fun to see how the creativity of artists work behind the scenes.
Yeah, actually, I might do that one day when we're doing it right.
Okay. Another idea for you.
Video and just piece it together. That's a great idea. Thank you.
You're welcome. My
Behind the
podcast.
scenes.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say behind the scenes of the song, right?
There you go. My podcast has been nominated for a few awards. You've been nominated and you won a few awards. What was it like when you won your very first award? Was it like a pinch yourself, like, is this real type moment or what?
I Me and awards is kind of funny. It's I truly appreciate them
Mhm.
because it's people acknowledging me and my talent. I don't I don't live for that. It's to me it's you know I don't even know sometimes what awards I'm nominated for, and not to discredit them or anything. Like I say, I truly am appreciative of them. But to me, the most important thing is the people that are loving the music when I'm playing it live.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's amazing. I just won Male Artist of the Year at the Red Carpet Awards in Europe. It was uh, an incredible feeling, and I wasn't expecting it. I was sitting there, and I had my jacket all done. I was sitting beside Sue, and we're listening to everything, and they write out the names and everything, and all of a sudden my name was called, and it still didn't click in. And Sue looked at me. She goes, "That was you." I said, "What?" She goes, "They called your name." So I had to get up and put my jacket up, and away I went up to the stage. So,
That,
but yeah, it
that's
was it was quite it was quite an honor, and I don't expect to win awards. If I do, I'm very incredibly grateful and humbled.
You have a hit song that's on the hit show Tulsa King.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. How did that? Can you share the behind the scenes how that happened and your initial reaction to when they asked you about getting your song aired on that show?
Well, honestly, I didn't know anything about it. Uh, I truly didn't know. I didn't know that my song was up for it or anything like that. And again, I was in Germany at the in Netherlands at the Red Carpet Awards, and I got a message from Michael, my manager, and he said, "Oh, by the way, your song "Drink 'Em Down" is going to be on Tulsa King." And we don't own a TV, so we don't watch TV. We don't know what the latest show is of the day, kind of thing. If we want to watch something, we'll pull up Netflix on the computer and watch a movie, and that's it. But like I say, I hadn't heard of Tulsa King, and he goes, "Yeah, it's Sylvester Stallone's new series. It's a series," and he said it's a big hit. He goes, "I love it." So we got back to North America, and I was heading up north, headed up the Eastern Seaboard, and then up into Canada for a tour. And we stopped in New Hampshire on the way back, and some friends. I had seen clips of my song in the episode, but that's all I had seen. Just people sending me clips, right? So we stopped in New Hampshire at some very dear friends, and they're also very big fans of Tulsa King. So they're saying, "You haven't seen it yet?" I said, "No, no." So they put the TV on and pulled it up and played that that episode, season 3 premiere, season premiere, and it was like, "Oh, it's pretty cool." My name pops up on the screen, and the words start going out there across the screen. It's like, yeah, that's really cool. And so we watched a couple more episodes in season 3, and then when we got back to Nashville, thought, well, maybe, because it's a good show, really good show. And I said, well, let's get this Paramount Plus thing. And so we got it, and then started watching Tulsa King from the very beginning. And when I saw, like, the first time that I saw that episode and I saw my name there, it was like, yeah, that's cool. But then watching it all the way from the beginning, from season 1 right through to season 3. And then when I got to that episode and saw my name pop up with the words, it was like, wow, this is just so incredibly cool, because the soundtrack for this series is amazing. All the artists, like all the different genres and big names. And then all of a sudden I'm up there with those big names and everything. It was just very surreal moment. Just like, wow, thank you, God.
Yeah. So continue. You said earlier, it's kind of God's path for you, basically, and that's really awesome.
Yeah.
Let's work talking your new single, I believe, For You Girl is making waves, and Can't wait to hear it. Tell us a little about that song as well.
Yeah, that's a really good fun tune, and the video for it, if you haven't seen the video for it, you can find it out there on YouTube. It's actually available everywhere. It's going to be heading out to the country music video channels here actually today. Today it starts, it heads out there, but it's been on YouTube for a little bit now. And like I say, it's filmed in Nashville. There's a few iconic spots you see. It starts out on the footbridge, and then Nashville skylines in the background, and then there's also scenes shot down by the rock wall right beside the river. You see the what we call the bat tower in the background, the AT&T building.
Mm-hmm.
We also shot some scenes over there by the Parthenon, which is an exact replica of the Parthenon, the original Parthenon, which is really cool. It's a good fun romantic song. Boy chasing girl, boy gets girl. So
a lot of musicians to help you as well. I got the list of people. I got Troy, I got Joe, I got Matt, Don, Mike. So shout out to all those guys.
yeah, incredibly lucky to have all those gentlemen on there, and they've played on some big records, like all the incredibly talented musicians. And Mr. Gil Grant, he's the one who produced this album, and he lined up all those musicians for me. So it was thank you, Gil.
Do you use personal experiences in your songs as well? Kind of stuff you've been through or gone through while you're writing your songs down as well? Make it really more personable?
Again, it falls back to whatever God gives me at the time, and it falls out on paper. And not to make it sound like it's easy, there is some struggle there. It doesn't come out like word for word. It always comes out as a jumble, and I have to. He makes me work for it. So I have to, rearrange all the words that have been given to me, the sentences that have been given to me. And sometimes, I'll have to change, like this verse here, I'll have something in it that would fit better in another verse, and then back and forth and switch everything around. So yeah, it's a process.
You achieved so much during your years. Looking back, some lessons learned that you wouldn't mind sharing, maybe some things that didn't work well or did work well, or how do you kind of got through some of those obstacles and some of the challenges you might have faced as a musician?
One of the key things is to surround yourself with good people. It's hard to find them sometimes. I've been very blessed. Like I've had some what they would call snakes in the grass that popped in my life, but for the most part, there's been some amazing people. Surround yourself by good people. Listen to your gut. Stay true to yourself, and everything kind of falls in place that way.
I'm kind of curious. The next question for inspiring writers: what advice would you give them in discovering and embracing their authentic voice? I think you just kind of covered part of that. Just being authentic and being themselves. You can't be someone you're not.
No.
So do you agree with that? And then any extra input you might have on that?
No, absolutely right. That's a thing that, there's a lot of people these days that go into the studio and say, oh, I want to sound like whoever. I want to sound like Morgan Wallen, or I want to sound like Lainey Wilson. It's like, what's the point? There is a Morgan Wallen already. There's also already a Waylon Jennings. There's also, Chris Christopherson. There's, all these great people that have created their voice. They are them. So don't try and be them. You'll never be them. So be yourself. You can take bits and pieces. Like with me, I get a lot of people they hear different things in my songs, in my voice, that say, okay, it reminds them of Don Williams, or reminds them of Waylon Jennings, or reminds them of Johnny Cash. But that's not the whole thing. I have my own sound, and that's the whole thing. If you're going to go out there and do it, you have to create your own sound. And that's kind of the difficulty we've gotten into in modern days, that you turn on the radio and you hear a song, you don't know where that one ends and the next one starts. It's just kind of everything blends in, everything out. Everyone sounds the same. Everything's auto-tuned. Just there's no uniqueness anymore. Back in the 80s and 90s, like we were talking about earlier, you turn the radio on, within the first little bit, you knew who that song was, who it was by. But now you don't have that as much. It's just too much blended together. So find yourself. It's okay to admire other people's music, other people's art, but don't try and mimic that to the point that you sound exactly like them. Find out who you are and stay
Yeah.
true to that.
Yeah, I think if you be you,
Absolutely.
I began podcasting. I think my podcast is. I tried finding something similar and I can't, which is great. I like my podcast is different. It's like
Yeah.
encouraging people, hearing stories, real stories, sharing inspiration. I add music to my podcast as well, real songs from artists.
Yeah.
So yeah, you be you. If you're trying to be someone else, you're gonna fall on your face and wonder what happened. And so I think it's
That's
very
right.
critical in anything in life. If you be you, you can't be anyone else.
That's right. Yeah. And another big thing too for aspiring songwriters is that you have to write everything down. Like whenever a thought comes into your head, whether it's one word or whether it's a sentence or whether it's a full verse, uh, write it down. And sometimes as soon as you start writing it down, then the rest of it starts falling into place. Sometimes when you're writing it, that's all you get. But then a month, 3 months down the road, a year down the road, something else will come back and trigger that and say, oh, that is part of that. So it's tuning into that radio station and finding that moment, I guess, where everything's going to come to you.
A few more songs we wrap up. How do you hope your music impacts the people who listen to your music? Is it just God's give you a gift to share it, and until the cows come home, each of us have a gift, and the Bible says we all have gifts, and I believe my gift is encouraging others. Your gift is encouraging others through music.
Yeah.
How do you make it continue impacting people's lives just by sharing life and throughout music?
Yeah, well, I hope that my songs can resonate with people if they can see a little bit of themselves in it. If it can help somebody out, I've had like one of my songs, "Don't You Cry." It's on my first album, and that one I've gotten a lot of response from people, and they say they want it to be their final song. They want it, their legacy song. They want to have that played at their funeral, and it's incredibly touching for someone to say that at the end of their life they want that song to be played at their funeral. It's very heartwarming, very touching.
Mm-hmm.
But if somebody can see a little bit of themselves in one of my songs, if they can associate with it, if it's going to help them through something, if it's going to help them find something, it's pretty incredible.
Would you mind sharing about your website? How people can check out your music or merch, or maybe see you in concert someday?
Yeah. Well, hopefully we get to catch up someday in person and get out your way to play a show. But if people want to follow me, it's Robert Ross Music on Facebook and Instagram. It's Robert Ross Music, and on TikTok it's robert.ross.music, and YouTube Robert Ross. All my videos are there. My what do you call it? My website. It's robertrossmusic.com. And one thing I have to say is that on social media, it's one of those things that you have to do these days, and it's a popularity contest. So it's whoever has the most followers. So I do appreciate people following along. And if someone sends me a message, I do my very best to answer everything that comes in. Of course, it's hard to hit every single message, but I do my very best to see everyone. And if they take the time to contact me, I do my best to take the time to get back in touch with them.
That's
Love
awesome.
talking to people.
My goal is always to encourage someone. If I can encourage someone through your interview or a song that's played, to me that's kind of my goal, is to encourage one person. And if someone gets that and makes their day a little bit better, to me that's all that really matters to me.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And also, if people want to find me on the streaming platforms, you can find me there. You'll see this mug there, and yeah. So all my songs that have been released are out there, like Spotify and Apple, and the other ones. Apologize for all the other ones, but the other ones. And yeah, so if they want to find me, stream me, follow along, share. That's one of the biggest things people can do these days is to share, follow along, share, and then comment. Because of the algorithms and everything, it really helps.
Well, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it. I wish you nothing but the best, and may God continue to bless your, I must say, music ministry, because that's what it is. You're ministering to people throughout the world. Thanks for being on, and appreciate it.
My pleasure, Jody. Thank you very much for having me on, and a big hi and thank you to all your listeners. And look forward to seeing you guys on social media and hopefully somewhere out there on the road.
Sounds good. Thanks, sir.
All right. Thanks. Bye now.
I want to take a moment and play a song by Robert Ross. I'll be playing this song For You, Girl. It's a heartfelt piece that really shows Robert's gift for storytelling. Simple, sincere, and full of emotion. You can hear the honesty in his voice, and he puts together every lyric, and it's kind of a song that reminds us how powerful love can be when it expresses humility and gratitude. So wherever you're listening to this today, hope this song encourages you, lifts your spirit, and it brings you someone special to mind. Here is For You, Girl by Robert Ross.
My whole life got turned around when I saw you painting up the town. Everything disappeared around you, girl, in this old world. You rock this boy right to the core. Now all I know is I want more. For your love I'd lie and beg and steal. That's how I feel. Yeah, that is how you make me feel. And I'm running a race that I can't win, to the ends of the earth and back again. You got me chasing, trying to catch you, girl. You spark the fire I can't put out. You make me want to jump and shout, spin around just like a tilt-a-whirl. For you, girl. Just to see you smile. Wouldn't care if it was pouring rain. I'd feel no pain. You're the sweetest rose I've ever seen, and like an angel you came to me, down from above on the wings of a dove. Wanna taste your love, just one taste of your love. And I'm running a race that I can't win, to the ends of the earth and back again. You got me chasing, trying to catch you, girl. You spark the fire I can't put out. You make me want to jump and shout, spin around just like a tilt-a-whirl. For you, girl. For you, girl. That I can't win, to the ends of the earth and back again. You got me chasing, trying to catch you, girl. You spark the fire I can't put out. You make me want to jump and shout, spin around just like a tilt-a-whirl. For you, girl. For you, girl.
Remember when music meant something? When the deep cuts on your favorite albums hit harder than the radio singles?
At XWPM Radio, we're bringing that magic back. Not the same old overplayed hits, but B-sides, deep cuts, forgotten gems, the tracks from the artists Gen X grew up with, the songs you should have heard. And we're opening the door for the next generation to discover them too. Support our Kickstarter and help us build a station made for listeners who want more than algorithms and repeats. XWPM Radio. Let's bring real music back.
I want to introduce Lori Lace's song, I Ain't Crying Over You. There are moments in life when someone you love breaks your heart in a way you never saw coming. It's the kind of pain that doesn't just sting, it rearranges you. Lori Lace knows that feeling. I Ain't Crying Over You was born from a chapter in her life where she had to face the truth that someone she trusted wasn't who she believed they were. But there's a thing about Lori. She didn't stay in the darkness. She didn't let betrayal define her. Instead, she turned her pain into a voice that refuses to be silenced, a voice that says, I'm still here, I'm stronger than what tried to break me. This song isn't about heartbreak, it's about reclaiming your power. It's about the moment you realize the tears are too valuable to waste on someone who didn't value you. It's about standing up, brushing yourself off, and saying, I deserve better, and I'm walking toward it. And if you're listening today in a place that feels heavy and confusing, I want you to hear this clearly. You don't have to go through it alone. Reaching out for help isn't a weakness, it's courage. Whether it's a friend, a family member, a professional, there are people out there who want to support you through the hardest times you're facing. The Lori's story reminds us that healing is possible, strength is possible, and a new beginning is possible. And sometimes a song like this is a spark that helps someone take that first step. This is Lori Lace, I Ain't Crying Over You.
Yeah, I burned your hoodie, I kept your lighter hot. Didn't read the second, didn't even cry. You thought I'd crumble, you thought I'd fall apart. Baby, I was loaded with a brand new start. Ain't sitting in the dark, ain't dialing your phone. I'm out on the streets and better off alone. I ain't crying over you, I got my heels, I got my crew. I'm drinking, I'm dancing, I'm running the town. You're just a ghost I don't care about. No tissues, no sad song, no late night regrets. This ain't no Taylor Swift lick, boy, I'm not your mess. There's new names in my phone and they ain't yours. I kick down doors you could never afford. I'm playing the field and I'm scoring fast. You're stuck in the bleachers and I'm built to last. I don't wonder where you are, I don't wonder who you're with. I'm too busy living life to give a single shit. I ain't crying over you, I got my heels, I got my crew. I'm drinking, I'm dancing, I'm running the town. You're just a ghost I don't care about. No tissues, no sad song, no late night regrets. This ain't no Taylor Swift lick, boy, I'm not your mess. You're just a chapter, boy, and I close that book. I didn't waste a tear with no second look. I'm the headline now, and you're just old news. And I'm playing this game like I can't lose. I ain't crying over you. I ain't crying over you.
Today's Mental Minute. This week, my wife and daughter and grandkids went out for a walk in Poulsbo, Washington at the fish park. And a few times I found myself standing by a stream just watching the water flow. Love the water. Love waterfalls. But it was nothing dramatic, nothing happening, no big waves, no rushing current, just a stream. A steady, gentle movement. It was very peaceful. As I stood there, I felt God reminding us that His presence is a lot like a stream. Constant, faithful, and always moving when life feels still, uncertain. The water didn't force anything. It simply flowed, carving its path one moment at a time. Scripture says, He leads me beside still waters, He restores my soul, in Psalm 23. And in that moment, I felt restoration. That quiet reassurance that God is guiding us, refreshing us, and carrying us forward, even when we didn't notice it. So today, take a breath. Let your soul settle. Remember that God's peace is flowing toward you and through you, just like the gentle stream. You don't have to rush. You don't have to have everything figured out. Just rest on the one who restores. That's today's Mental Minute. Thank you for my guest today, Mr. Robert Ross. It was really fun talking with him, hearing his story, and he let me share one of his songs as well. It was really fun talking to him. Check out his music at robertrossmusic.com. Also, thank you to Ariel Franz for playing her music as well. Her website is arielfranzmusic.com. And our last song was heard by Lori Lace, her powerful song, I Ain't Crying Over You. She has said some great music on YouTube, and you can find her on Facebook as well. If you like this content of encouraging, uplifting, just having fun conversations with people from around the world, my website is chitandchatpodcast.com. All the episodes go there, and you can listen in. My sponsors are there. You can go and click them and place an order for tacos or whatever. And you can now contact me through my website, chitandchatpodcast.com. You can also find the podcast on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and wherever you find your podcasts. I also play the interviews on YouTube. And with the music and stuff going on, I just play music there, the interview there, not the music. And you can also watch and listen to the episodes on Facebook as well. I post it there. So we're all over different medias and platforms as well. And subscribe and follow the podcast. And it's all about encouraging others and sharing positivity. Thanks again for joining us. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. My name is Jody, and this is Chit Chat, the Encouraging One Another podcast, where it's always about encouraging others. We'll see you next time.